All right, we're going to begin with some stretching of our hip flexors and our pec muscles. So let's come into a kneeling hip flexor stretch. You can pad the knee with your roller, or you could do it on the floor just with your yoga mat underneath the knee. And as we're working here, you're going to take the same arm as the back leg. The back leg should be closest to the wall, behind you in a T, and you'll twist the torso away from it while driving the pelvis forward. The front leg with the thigh and the shin will create a right angle with the knee tracking over the second and third metatarsals. Make sure you're breathing here as you rotate from your torso to stretch out the front of the shoulder and the pec major. Inhale and exhale. Now, if you feel any discomfort in either knee, feel the opposition. Drive the back knee down into the floor of the roller or the yoga mat and reach the front knee forward in opposition. Lower pelvic floor muscles lifting you in and up. On your next exhale, switch sides, setting up to even everything out. We're getting our posturally tight areas all stretched out before we begin a cardio burst. Now, this cardio burst, we're going to be using a stair stepper. If you don't have a stair stepper, you can use stairs in your house. You can use any stable box or Aerobic pad to step up onto, and you can do it on solid ground if you don't have any stairs anywhere in the vicinity of where you're working today. So as we are stretching the second side now, I want you to hear your breath. Inhale laterally into the rib cage, pull the navel in towards the spine, lift in and up on those muscles that stop your stream of pee, and fog a mirror with your exhale as you twist away from the arm on the wall in the T, opening up your pec major here. Inhale laterally, keep the head on the spine, front ribs reaching for the back ribs, collarbone wide, belly pulled in towards that spine. Tug in and up on the muscles that stop your stream of pee. Feel the opposition of the legs, the back leg reaching back, front leg reaching forward, belly pulling in and up. On your next exhale, let's come up to stand. So you need stairs or a stair stepper or box, foam pad. We're going to begin with our heaviest loop band around our thighs. You can keep this around your thighs for the entire workout. If at any point you feel that it's working your front of your thighs and hip flexors too much, just take it off and take the resistance down on the band. But I want you to work with your legs hip distance apart, and this will give you some resistance as you keep them hip distance apart and teach you to use the lateral intrinsic muscles of the legs and feet. So with this heaviest loop band on, we're now going to grab our lightest loop band and put it around our wrist so that we can pull out on it. We're going to go up and over. If you're using stairs, you can just go up and down, starting on one side, and then you can switch on the next set to the other side. But it looks like this. Arms go up, shoulders plug down as I go up and over to the other side. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. That's going to be our breath. That's going to be our moderate tempo right now. When we begin the cardio bursting, you can pick up the pace. You can do a little hopping if you'd like, but just make sure you keep your legs parallel, hip distance apart, and that when you lift the arms up, the shoulders aren't elevating. You're keeping the shoulders plugged down the back. Collarbone wide, head up on the spine, ample distance between the chin and the chest. Our next exercise, we're going to need a 3-pound weight, and we'll keep that heaviest band on the thighs and the lightest loop band around the wrist. You'll hold the 3-pound weight. Actually, lose the loop band on your wrist. Just holding the 3-pound weight like so at the chest with the elbows out to the side. We're going to go up and over. So if you're on stairs, this will work fine. You're going to step up and down, alternating your leading foot as you go down and up. So it's a quarter turn to be square on the step, and then you turn to your profile as you come down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. And we're holding this weight on the chest with our elbows lifted in an upright row position. As you hold it, your knuckles are facing in towards one another. This lift of the elbows as high as the shoulders will engage your shoulder blade anchors so that you don't slip into any kyphosis here, any rounding in the front of the shoulders. Lift up on your lower pelvic floor muscles, those muscles that stop your stream of pee. We want to continue to condition them to flatten your stomach post-pregnancy. Couple more breaths here, keeping at a nice steady tempo before we begin our bursting. So this is our second exercise in the transverse plane. Our final exercise, you'll need your 3-pound weight, your lightest loop band around your wrists, and you'll hold the weight. Let's start with your dominant arm. We're just going to step up, up, down, down. You can step the legs a little wider than hip distance to really feel the outsides of the legs working, or you can keep it nice and easy hip distance. The arms are floating up in line with the chest in a V position. You're pulling out on that band with the wrist and using your back muscles, plugging the shoulders down, and you lower the arms back to the thighs. Inhale to lift as you step up, up, exhale. And I wanted to reiterate, whatever arm is loaded, I want you to lead with the opposite leg. So if I have the weight in my right hand, my left leg steps up, then the right leg, my left leg steps down, then the right leg. So it's opposition. When we switch the weight in the hand, you'll switch your leading leg. We all have a dominant leg, so there is going to be one way that feels really funky to step up. It's going to feel you'll feel a little off kilter, and this is great because this will help your proprioceptors get used to what it feels like to do that so you don't injure yourself when you move through space. So you can switch the weight to the other hand for a second and switch your leading leg, and that's your leading leg for the way up and the way down. Get comfortable with the motion, inhaling up, exhaling down. Your heart rate should be starting to pick up. We're still at a nice moderate tempo. From here, we're going to set the weight down and we're going to begin our first burst in the frontal plane, up and over, stepping side and stepping down with the arms going overhead and back down. Counting you in, 3, 2, 100% effort. Give it all you got here. First burst on the stair stepper or your stairs or your AirX pad, working on boosting our endurance, shedding our weight that we gained during pregnancy. Most of it is going to come off naturally through breastfeeding and through giving birth, but we're going to get those extra pounds off and tone up through some cardio, blood pumping cardio. As you're working here, keep your shoulders down your back, keep your focus up eye level, keep your legs parallel, hip distance apart. Work with a soft bend in the knees. You can work with a little tuck in your pelvis under. This is going to allow you to access more glutes, hamstrings, and abs, and less quads, the front of the thighs, and hip flexors. And this is really important because we want to really build up the back part of the legs because it atrophies during pregnancy. Counting you down, 3, 2, 1. Take your minute break. During this minute break, feel free to grab some water. You can also take a stretch if anything feels like it needs to be stretched. Just don't sit down. This isn't a time to really lower the heart rate. We want that heart rate to come back down to a normal rate, and then we're going to spike it back up. This cardio bursting is the most time-effective way to condition your heart. It's just as effective as moderate-paced cardio for 30 minutes to an hour. So if you are short on time, which I'm sure you are, now that you have a baby, then it's going to be really important to really check in with yourself and to take this time. Okay, I'm going to have you get set up. We're going to do our second set, counting you in. 3, 2, 1. 100% effort here. Give it all you got. Second set in the frontal plane. You know the exercise. It's going to seem relatively easy. Give it all you got. Go at 100% effort. And what I mean by that is making sure you're still keeping your form that we've worked so hard to achieve with our floor work and standing series work. Make sure your pelvis is tucked under. Make sure the lower abs, the muscles that stop your stream of pee, are engaging, lifting in and up. As those arms go overhead, you're keeping your shoulders down the back and the collarbone wide. You're doing great. Just 20 seconds left. You should be sweating by now. The blood's pumping. You're boosting that endurance, burning calories, helping to get back into pre-pregnancy figure, or even better, looking better than you did before you were pregnant. This is all possible. Just stay focused, counting you down 3, 2, 1. As you take your minute recovery, I'm going to remind you of your transverse plane exercise. We're holding the weight at our chest with the elbows out to the side. You do not need to do this exercise. Just don't sit down, watch. As a reminder, we're going to start profile to the step, Eric's pad or stair stepper, and we'll step up to face square on, to be straight on, so that's a quarter turn, and then back down to the other side. And then we'll step up. So you're going to be alternating your leading leg naturally in this transverse plane exercise. Watch out for the elbows drooping. Keep the front ribs reaching for the back ribs so you don't get that arch and the low back. You can tuck your butt under to help with this as well, and really keep those knees soft. The moment you lock the knees, that's when the balance goes, and you'll start to roll in on those feet. Okay, let's set up. Counting you in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Give me 100% effort. First burst in the transverse plane. Stair step in time. To really make this complete, you should channel your inner 80s. Grab some 80s music, put it on in the background. You could also get a fanny pack out, some socks, a headband. Really do it up. Enjoy yourself. Exercise is meant to be fun. It's meant to boost your endorphins, increase your metabolism, change your mood to a better one, hopefully, most likely. It's going to raise those endorphins so that you feel good. Just 20 more seconds here. I know that blood's pumping. Give it all you got, 100% effort. Knees are soft, pelvis is tucked, belly is in towards the spine, front ribs are reaching for the back ribs, collarbone is wide, shoulders are plugged down the back. There's an apple distance between your chin and your chest. Your focus of your eyes is up eye level or a bit higher. Counting you down, 3, 2, 1. Take your break. We've got a minute here. Take any stretch that feels necessary. Just do not sit down. If you're foam rolling or doing something that's active, that is fine. I just don't want you sitting in a chair totally relaxing. You can relax in a standing position with soft knees and a tucked pelvis with your abs still engaged, or you can do belly breathing if you're really out of breath. Inhale into the belly, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, let it out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 10 seconds before we begin our second set in the transverse plane. Go ahead and get set up, counting you in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 100% effort here. Final exercise in the transverse plane. Now, the transverse plane is a tricky plane for people to move in, and it's also the number one way people injure themselves. So whether it's in sports or in everyday life, 90% of people that injure themselves do it when they're turning. So it's really important that you align your body when you turn and that you're using your body in the best way. And how can you do that? You can keep your knees soft. You can feel all edges of the feet making contact with the step you're stepping up onto or the ground. You can feel your belly pulled in, not pressing out. The front ribs meeting the back ribs. You can use your shoulders and upper back by plugging the shoulders down the spine and engaging the upper back extensors by pulling the shoulder blade together, retracting the shoulder blades. Keep your head up on your spine, counting you down. 3, 2, 1. So our final exercise in the sagittal plane, you have your weight. Let's start with it in our dominant hand. The arms come up to a V position as you pull out on the lightest loop band that's around your wrist. and you step up with the opposite leg of the hand that's loaded with the weight. And you also step down with that same leg. So we go up, up, down, down, up, down, down. And of course you can pick the pace up. Watch out for the feet turning out from the ankles. We don't want this. This is going to put unnecessary strain on the legs, especially the knee area. It's going to pull the knees into that funny position where they knock inward and cause the arches to collapse. None of these things we want. So now that you know the exercise, go ahead and set up with your dominant arm loaded. Your non-dominant leg is going to be the leader, up and down, counting you in. 3, 2, 1. Give it all you got. 100% effort here. I love doing cardio on the stair stepper. I really think it's one of the most fun ways to get cardio in, and you can always keep the stair low if you have knee issues or back issues so that the impact is super low. The higher the step is, the more impact on the joints. And if you add any hopping or jumping, that's going to add a lot of impact to the joints as well. So if you want to keep it low impact, just do the stepping and keep the stair low, or your Aerobic pad or whatever you're using. Keep it low to the ground. Only 15 seconds left on this for this first set with your dominant arm leading and your opposite leg leading. Counting you down. Abs are in. Keep them in. Keep the shoulders on the back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your minute recovery, and then we'll have our final burst in the sagittal plane. This time the weight will be in your non-dominant hand, which means the opposite leg is going to lead as you step up, up, and down, down. Up, up, down, down. Now this seems like a very, very easy exercise, but to pull out on that band and to create a V and to really use your upper back to plug the shoulders down, to keep the knees soft and the pelvis tucked under and the feet perfectly parallel. The legs and the hip sockets are parallel. You're not turning them out. You're not rolling in or out on the feet. You're using all edges of the feet. You're pulling your abs in at all times, keeping the front ribs reaching for the back ribs, widening the collarbone. Go ahead and get set up. We've got 10 seconds before we count in to our final burst. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give me 100% effort. This is it. This is your final burst. I'm going to recommend that you do this program, the cardio, 3 times a week, minimum. 3 times a week. You can do it more, but the National Heart Association recommends 3 cardio bursts a week, and that includes anywhere from 4 to 8 minutes of full out bursting with recoveries between. Now, those recoveries can decrease in time as your endurance increases. And so what that means is we're starting out with minute recoveries, and as you improve your endurance, you can cut those down to 45 seconds and even 30 seconds between the 100% burst. You only have 15 seconds left. So I know you're sweating, I know you're working hard, but keep those checkpoints in mind. Soft knees, parallel feet, pulling out to a V, abs in, front ribs meeting back ribs, shoulders on the back, collarbone wide, counting you down. 3, 2, 1. Take that band off, setting it to the side. All the bands off, rather. Soft bend in the knees. Let's roll those shoulders back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Little bend in those knees. And great work.